So as we wrap up the semester, I'm going to ask you to do one last project, and that is a video package. Most photojournalists these days are also being asked to go through and produce video stories in addition to their stills that they're handing in for their assignments. And so I'm going to ask you to be doing the same thing. Packages exist of a number of different elements, and I'm going to be asking you to produce a couple of those. One being a stand-up, much like what I'm doing right here with my iPhone and talking to you. This would be considered a stand-up. And then to get into your stand-up's going to have an intro, and it might have an outro as well to wrap up your package. So you would have a sign-off with that. So, for example, for Media 3510, I'm Eric Young. And it goes out to black kind of a thing. So that's one element in terms of your reporting stand-up. Other elements also include B-roll, which is the footage or the images of what it is that your story is actually about. So you might be covering maybe flood damage or a fire or a crime or something of that nature, and you would have an establishing shot of where that's happening, and then you would work on closer and get into detail in terms of the shots that go through and tell your story. Now, you probably have to write your story before you do that, or in some cases, reporters will go through and do an interview, and then based on the interview, the photog or the journalist will go through then and create video or find the shots to go through and support what that interview is going to be going through and talking about. So that's what I'm asking you to do. For this week, all I'm asking you to do initially is to get all of your shots combined, okay, all of your shots done, like your stand-up, like your B-roll. If you choose to do an interview, and I'm hoping that you do, that you're able to get the interview done. I'll talk about interviews here in just a second. And then you might have any kind of voiceover that you will do, which you will actually record on video, and then when you get into editing, you'll just use the audio part of that to go through and edit underneath your B-roll. And then everything comes together in a package. I'm not looking for a long package, just it's 45, maybe 60 seconds at the most, that way. When you're shooting an interview, you need to shoot it not like you're shooting your stand-up. This stand-up is an objective stand-up where I'm looking at the lens of the camera, where if I were the person being interviewed and the reporter is just off camera, I would be talking to the reporter this way to where my eyes are not going to the lens. That's a place for your eyes to go through as the reporter. Your interviewees, your content subject, has to go through you, becoming what's called a subjective point of view in terms of creating your package. A couple other ideas in terms of shooting your stand-up. You want to use something that looks like the rule of thirds, kind of like what I got going on here. I'm a little bit more centered here as I look at my own monitor. But the number one thing is look at the camera lens on your phone, on your device, not looking at your screen, because this is what it looks like when I'm looking at the screen. Looks like I'm looking off camera, right? As opposed to actually looking at the lens. Okay? Subjective, objective. And as reporters, we are objective in going through and putting our stand-ups up there. All right? So that you understand. If I haven't said this yet, I want you to shoot this with an iPhone or a smartphone. I don't want you to use your DSLRs in going through and putting together this package for a number of reasons. The main reason is that the iPhone's going to go through and simplify this process for you. So what I'll be looking for at the end of the week basically is not edit it. You can edit it. If you know how to edit and you want to go through and do that, cool, do it. But what I'm looking for is just your raw footage. And you can upload that via YouTube, and then you can send the YouTube link for the assignment rubric that we'll have on Canvas for this, okay? Now, you'll have some questions. I hope you do. You know where to find me, and I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can with those questions, all right? So good luck. See you later on.